Today's reading, the cards have been prayed over, and I've asked for the best possible messages, most clear, concise, to come through. There's pandemonium, as I've been using the word pandemonium. It had been coming up for quite a while. I actually anticipated this a couple of months ago, but it came through a musical source, actually, the group B2K, Omarion, and the like. They had an album titled Pandemonium, and that particular word was very indicative of what I was feeling on the way. So we have a progression of astrological events as well as economical, sociological, and everything like that. The energies that I have present are Pluto, Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, and Taurus. They're Judgment, Chariot, the Hermit, High Priestess, and the Hierophant, respectively. And the Tower is actually the overall energy for the reading, which is Mars. Mars is ancient ruler to Scorpio, and it also has an affinity for Aries. Now, with Pluto showing up with Judgment, it's showing me a myriad of things as far as legal, karmic, and just overall judgments being placed on a grand scale, worldwide, international, planetary. There's a red cross featured here on this particular card, but it also shows pillars on 3 of these major arcana that I see out of the 6. There's the tower. One large pillar is being uprooted. It's being struck. The governing forces, represented here with a crown, is showing a destruction. It's a dismantling, and that was confirmed by the King of Pentacles in reverse. The King of Pentacles is usually a banker, a CEO, a person who has established large corporations and business practices, a financier, a philanthropist, people who have access to wealth, millions. This is typically the King of Pentacles energy. He is in reverse and is showing, like I said, confirming this Tower card, that he representing company, corporation, things of that nature, we just call that entity. That whole structure is being dismantled because it was built on false premises, labor practices and ethics, so to speak, have kind of been hidden here with the Moon card. The Ace of Wands is underneath the Tower and shows me like I'm really getting purification when it comes to the fire element. It's a time where the whole thing has to be burnt to the ground in order as a forest, for instance. And my apologies to anyone in Australia or California who have dealt with these forest fires and understand the seriousness and the damage that it causes. But the planet does this thing when it isn't forced on by man, where fires will typically wipe out a complete area of vegetation, and new life will grow from there. New opportunity. Everything is given an even playing field, and the Moon here shows that it has been subconsciously, and there again are 2 pillars, subconsciously known to some. It could have been secretly prepared for on some people's accounts. But the King of Pentacles is the last person to actually realize what is happening. Everything else is on the up and up except for the King of Pentacles. Along with this Hierophant, King of Pentacles, they're part of the same type of entity, type of structure. And all of that is being looked into with the Hermit, investigated, High Priestess, secret, seclusion, along with this Moon card. These things are coming out to be analyzed by everyone. The scrutiny with the Judgment card and the Chariot, how we move forward with this newfound information. The Chariot is that Merkabah, is that Holy Grail, is that reset where once stagnation was, now there is a clearing with the Tower and the Judgment to actually move ahead. Next, we have the King of Swords. This is that judgment being made. That is that higher authority ruling, making decisions that can stand for the presidential aspects of different companies, as well as these different governments and provinces, cities, states, national sphere. So we have the King of Pentacles, who is reversed and money-based and hunger, greed. That's it really has all the 7 deadly sins in it to me, where pride, avarice, sloth, being slow to act and slow to show, prove, and act with compassion. And the King of Swords is more so about what is fair, what is right. At this time, it's not about what the King of Pentacles, as far as an energy, can keep for themselves. Now it's being dispersed. It's being allotted to multiple and to many, with the Tower, the Judgment card coming in with the Red Cross. Resurrection is pictured and depicted on this card as a saving grace, as a aid to the community. This is where people are getting a second chance, a compensation, or being able to pay it forward to others. There's plenty opportunity to that, for that. And I see that with this Temperance card coming in next, to really balance how people act and the compassion that they hold. So before, you may have had people just acting without thinking, or acting impulsively or self-centered, because it's underneath this King of Pentacles reversed. But now, in a time where energy has to be used for wise purposes, it's being recalibrated, it's being reconfigured, and the sun is pictured 3 times on this card in particular. So it's showing the bright side of everything that is transpiring. The 5 of Wands, you will have petty conflict. You will have arguments. You will have people who are afraid, assuming everyone that they encounter is out to get something, or they're in competition with the next shopper or the next employee. What is starting to make everyone look at each other side-eyed, as far as who's got this condition, or who's, what does this person have that I don't, in that type of capacity. It's really, to me, it can indicate healthy competition, but at times such as these, it is people scrambling to get whatever they can to feel that they have achieved a certain level of comfort. With this 5 of Wands, it's a spiritual unrest. There's, even in times of quarantine, there are things that people can all of a sudden, oh, well, I need this. I have to go out to get, because I may not have the opportunity to. So that's where this conflictual energy is coming in, as well as wondering if there will be enough for everyone. So it has a double type of feel to it, as far as securing your own, as well as, outsourcing to see what others have, to see if you still have enough. So this is an energy to remind you that you have to be secure in what it is that you have. Take precautions to get what you need. But this King of Pentacles reverse reminds us not to act out of greed, selfishness, laziness, um, wrath, anger, things of that nature, revenge. All of that stuff is not going to fare well. The Seven of Swords is underneath the moon, and I feel that this is where these hidden trade secrets and business practices and the numbers and information pertaining to particular corporations and companies, their true ethical nature and lack thereof is actually coming to the forefront, again, to recalibrate and restructure the whole system that has been in place and running up until this point. And there's a Page of Cups following, which shows that even in this massive time, in this massive event, there is news coming in. There is lighthearted energy. There are jokes. There are acts of kindness and compassion being shown, being given, being received. It's something that keeps everything from becoming so stifled with fear and panic. And this is what leads us to the world, which is the end of a cycle. It also shows a lot of protection. This is orchestrated. This is, and I'm not speaking on conspiracy at this point. I'm saying that astrologically, numerologically, consciously, as a collective, this is orchestrated. It has always been this time that was etched out. The rest of 2020, the beginning of 2020, it seemed so uncertain, though things started to become very clear. Companies that you worked for, that you assumed had your best interests at heart, are being shown as not, or vice versa. Companies that you did not expect to actually show compassion are doing just that. So it's starting to decipher and sift through what we've been patronizing, what we've been supporting, who we've been supporting, and what they're doing with their impact, with their outreach to the communities at large. It is showing very strongly that there is another chance. There is definitely another chance. This is only a current representation of past events throughout different civilizations where they've come up against the same upheaval and point of chaos, destruction. This has happened on a global scale, whereas this just was private to different civilizations, their rise and their fall. The intentions, it is always equal and opposite, but for as much negativity and much damage as there is, there will always be the equal and the equivalent in good, as well as compassion, service to others, humanitarianism. So we cannot exist one without the other. It is a delicate balance, and it depends on where you are and how it will go. Thank you for listening.